Okay, I wanted to go over a few things on how I trade and how to keep it to about 90% accuracy. So let's look at this chart here, and I'm going to take off all these things here and just strip it on down to just the chart itself. Okay, so you can see the candlesticks are here, and this is basically the price every day. So when I put on this is not that one. When I put on this, the CM Ultimate, this is what I can call the control line. Now you can see it's like a median. It goes all the way through the middle of it. This is, the prices go up and down, and this stays in the center of all the prices. So you have that. Now here we have super trend. Now remember I was talking about the green and red spikes. So I'll turn this on and off. So whenever you have a green spike, that means it's going to change and go up. Whenever you have a red spike, that means the next thing that's going to happen is it's going to go down. And you can see this tracer here. It's just pretty much going to be with it all the way until it turns green. You see the tracer here, and that's going up. So basically, those are just demarcation points of the control line, up, down. Then you have the VWAP. That is the indicator that I'm basically working on. Now, someone had asked this question, what are these spikes here? Okay, you see the VWAP has like a sudden down spike, a big down spike, and that pretty much means party's over for the direction it's going. And before you get to that point, it's a pretty strong downtrend. So you have a red spike here, and then it's a pretty strong downtrend. And then when the VWAP has that big spike, that means, okay, party's over. It might still keep going down, but not with as much force, and start looking for the other direction. And sure enough, here it is. Here's a green spike up. Okay, right over here, you could see a big spike up, because it turns yellow too on the indicator of the VWAP, and that means party over for what? Well, it started right here with the green spike. Things were moving up really hard, and all of a sudden you got this, and that pretty much means strength party over. It could still keep going up. I mean, there's some times where it keeps going up and you get multiples of these, but that just usually means a re-entry point in. But party over, and you can see it sort of falters off, and it's looking for a down, and it starts here, and then the big push comes here, and then here's that VWAP down spike after the red. So this is basically a timing situation. I really don't play anything off them. I just know that the party is almost over whenever you see one of those. Now let me try to bring it on over here and see if I get a continuation. Sometimes you'll have a long continuation with a couple of them. Aha, here's one. Okay, here's an example where you have a few of them. So, you have the green spike, and then it goes up, and you have a spike, right, in the VWAP. Usually means party's over, but sometimes it'll just keep going. So that's why I say it's a general rule of thumb, and, not an absolute, but it just lets you know what's happening pretty much. So, okay, so there's one right here. That, interestingly enough, came after a red spike, but that means party over, and it just went on down there. Okay. So now this is what I do with the VWAP. Let's bring it on over to the current date. Now I found something else about the VWAP. You can also check it on the 15 minutes too, and that'll still work, because sometimes you'll get a different, put it to 50, you'll get a different situation with the VWAP on the 15 minutes where you see that you could get in. But let me show you what I'm doing as far as getting it is concerned. Alright, so when it's green, okay, you want the VWAP underneath the control line. It's a buy signal. For instance, you don't do anything here. You turn to green, you're looking. Oh, it crossed right here. That right here is a buy. And then you get in. Okay? Now red, you want it above the control line. So you could see, here's the control line. Red's below it. That's not good. Oh, and it just barely crosses above it. That's a put buy. So you buy a put. You can see it went down in the following week, and it also went over here. That was also a buy situation. You can see it does it. It's nice on the 30-minute because it does it before the big drop. So another thing you could do is you could look at it in the 15-minute as well. So I'm going to change it to the 15-minute because you'll see different things with the VWAP. Now here, this wasn't on the 30, but here it went underneath the line. So that's a buy. You could see it like pop the next day or two. Okay, so what I will do is I will go back and forth from the 15 to the 30 to check for buys, and for exits I pretty much just stay with the 30. Exit is a little more difficult on when to get out. So let's say you got in here. All right, you're right here and you're above the line. Exits, I pretty much use this indicator right here, the CM Williams VIX Fix. It shows market bottoms pretty nice. Okay, so when there's a spike there, I'll tend to get out. Or another thing is I'll get out if it's like a 8-point move with my debit credit spreads. I'm sorry, with my debit put spreads or debit call spreads. If it's an 8-point move, I'll tend to get out because that's usually about a 30% gain. So, or I'll just set it. Another thing you could do is set it for a 30% gain and do it automatically. 31% gain, then you really don't have to worry about it because it'll pop on its own. Now, how to get out at the top, that's a little more difficult. For instance, right here, if I see red on top of this ribbon and I see a peak over here and this is coming down over here, it tends to mean that the party's over and I bail. However, if I see something like this, like ADX rising, still going up the hill, then you could sort of like hang in, even though you see something like green down here. If I see this is still going up and this is still going up, hasn't really peaked yet, then I'll tend to get out. So it's a little more complicated to know when to get out, but when to get in is really easy. And again, you could just set it for a 30% gain and let your limit order just automatically take care of it. Live to fight another day. 30%, 30%, 30%. That adds up, and then you don't really have to worry about when to get out. It just gets out on its own, and you just wait for the next setup. That's what I do, and that's what I find is most easiest. So I look on both the 30-minute and I look on the 15-minute for endpoints. So let's look at endpoints on the 30. All right, let's look where we should have gotten in. All right, and again, we don't do anything until let's say you made money over here. It was green. You saw a crossover. You got in. You made your 30%, and then you see a red spike. Okay, if the 30% didn't automatically trigger, and then the red spike happens, you just get out. You just take your loss, get out. Okay, now it's red. Now you're waiting for it to go above the control line. There it is. Ding. You get in, and then right here you make about your 30%. It goes down. Okay, and then let's see. We're waiting for the next stand. Now right here, there's the green spike, and the VWAP is, here's the control line. The VWAP is below it after the green. So remember, we want it below the control line with the green, and that was an in, and that would have been your 30%. And you get out. Now right here, you see is a red spike. However, the VWAP is below it, so we do nothing. And right as it starts to cross it, you start getting some green color on the line, so we're going to ignore it. And then right here, it's green and it's above it, so that is a buy. So you would have bought it about right. Let's see, did it go above it yet? Yeah, here it is. Here's the VWAP. And it's at green, and we would have bought about right here. Unless you went to the 15-minute chart, you could have gotten in earlier, because you would have seen the VWAP cross under about right here, which was the entry signal. So that's why I checked both the 15-minute and the 30-minute. And that is pretty much it. On the next video, I'm going to show you how to do debit call, debit puts, because the theta is much less than doing straight options. And I will be doing options with this when I have more of a base with the debit calls and puts, because again, the 30% is much more possible, and it's the ship's chugging along slower on that, but again, it's every 5 or 6 days, compound 30% every 5 or 6 days, you'd be doing pretty good. But you have to maintain the system. For example, I did not. I thought, well, Putin's gonna invade, I'll just put some puts out there, and I wasn't thinking, and that was about right here. Then the market did nothing but go up and just crush me. That's because I didn't watch what the market was telling me it was going to do. Like right here, VWAP, I would have made a lot of money if I had just gone with what my signals were telling me. So, you can look at this, but a big part of it is discipline. All right, thanks. Thank you very much for listening.